Good evening, everyone. I am Coach T, and I am so glad and excited to be here with you this evening. Tonight, we are going to be talking about Calendar Snatch, the 2.0 version. This is my personal way to increase your productivity and your self-accountability. It is absolutely the way that so many people, my clients, friends, associates, and I have doubled and 10x our productivity. And tonight I want to share it with you all. So give me a moment. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get right to it, guys. Give me just a second. Okay. Okay. Y'all see my screen? All right. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. So, like I said, tonight is Calendar Snatch. We are really going to be focusing on making sure that the efforts that are needed to be taken in order to make sure that you're getting to the next level in your business, in your life, is here, right? And so we're going to set this up. We're going to set you up in terms of your new year, based on the terms of how much time you have in a day, how much of that time is productive, right? And who's checking you? Who's checking you even if it isn't? Why are we doing this? That one's simple to me. That one is because we are literally 87%, according to Brian Tracy International, 87% more what is the word I'm trying to say? We're 87% more, it's more possible, I guess. We're going to be more successful. It is going to attribute to our success 87% of the time when we actually have effective time management skills and tools in place, okay? Maintaining high levels of focus and making sure that your priorities are your priorities. These are all things that, according to all of the people that are completely in business management, business accountability, Brian Tracy International, he's written, I don't know, I think at this point, 27 books. Brian Tracy, he's an amazing author, even better business coach. And he's, I don't know, old as dust, and he's still out there. And what that says to me is that the better you are with putting some actual structure to your time, the better we're going to be able to actually help you to grow. Okay. Just really, really easy and directly, inverse relationship. I'm sorry, direct relationship. We go up as you go up, right? And so tonight, I really wanted to focus on that. I want to focus on how we really just truly snatch your calendar so that if you want to accomplish the goals, right, you want to get the things done, that we make sure that it is all the way on your calendar, all the way up until the point that it is Tuesday at 3 p.m., right? And so that's what we're talking about tonight, guys, snatching calendars and what exactly that looks like, okay? Know this, if you want to accomplish your goals, you got to know and make sure that your actions are aligned with your goals, number one, and that those actions are put on your calendar, number two, okay? If it is, you're going to really, really have a good experience with your goals. You're going to be able to have a goal and actually reverse engineer and get those things belted out, actions on your calendar. If it is not, then you're going to struggle to stay on track, okay? Especially when life gets in the way. And what that's going to look like is overwhelm, okay? And so I want to help you to eliminate that struggle and that overwhelm together, right? I want to make sure that you are no longer experiencing those things, because when you're experiencing that, what do? You don't do anything, right? And so that's the reason why we really want to make sure that you get this and that it is crystal clear, okay? Here's the agenda, okay? So first of all, we're gonna go over what's the actual problem, okay? And then what's the real problem? We're gonna do Sunday hour one. This is an acronym show. Sunday hour one, we're gonna explain that. Deep dive into focus time, and then the sub-blocks of focus time, which is an update for this year from last year. And then we're gonna do a deep dive into calendaring, sharing my screen, actually creating a calendar with you, for you, to show you what this looks like. And then we out of here, guys. Okay, so that is the agenda for this evening. All right. So let's start with what's the problem, okay? So here's the problem. The problem is you're stuck in a pattern of wasting your time, okay? Mainly because you're not tracking your time. And so what I really want to make sure that you know, and that you know that you can do, is at any given time, start to track your time. And a time check is all you need to do in order to do that. And as simple as it sounds, is exactly what it is. If you just put 1 through 24 on your paper and just went all the way down, right? And there is 24 hours in a day, right? Now, for us military girls, this is going to be right up our alley. We know 24-hour time all day long. For our civilians, then y'all just double that time up. Y'all can figure that thing out. Y'all quick, intelligent Black women, white women. So it is good. Y'all got it, right? So listen, 1 through 24, right? Once you do 1 through 24, then at 1, what are you doing? So that is you literally saying at 1 a.m., what are you doing? Sleep, put sleep. At 2 a.m., what are you doing? Sleep, put sleep. 3 a.m., sleep, put sleep. 7 a.m., up, okay, what are you doing, right? In that hour, you're specifically looking to see what you're doing, right? 11 a.m., you were doing lunch, okay, from 11 to 12. 12 a.m., 12 p.m., you were in a meeting. 1900, right? 1900 hours, which is 7 p.m., you were at dinner, right? And not just putting these things as, okay, yeah, I think I'm at dinner during that time, but actually monitoring it and doing it on the back end of this time. Okay, that's the easiest way to check your time. Okay, and then you just got to literally make sure that you are seeing yourself, right? Looking to see what you're doing, being honest with what you're putting in there, and then looking at it. Now, if you were to do that right now today, would there be any surprises? Sure, probably for a lot of us. You know, we may say that we sleep 8 hours a night, but we know we get up 2 hours short of that, an hour and a half short of that every single night. And we're not accounting for that time, right? This assessment, it'll quickly help you to do that if you're truly tracking what you're doing from hour to hour. Now, of course, I'm not asking you to wake up every hour on an hour and do it. But if you're asleep from, 11 to 5, then when you wake up, you put 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, all the way to 5, right? You put those individual lines. You want to be able to see exactly what you were doing. If from 8 to 9, you used to say you were at work, but in actuality, half of that time you're commuting, then now you can see what you're doing with that block of time, okay? All right, so 24 hours of time, exactly that. Do that for yourself. I challenge you to do it today, do it, right? And just, think today meaning the next 24 hours, from whatever time you start to 24 hours, and testing yourself and what you're doing with your time, okay? And let me know if there's any surprises that you see, okay? But here's the thing, guys, here's the thing. Knowing what you're doing every hour on the hour it's not good enough. It's not good enough. You've got to replace the time, right? You've got to replace the time that you're like, oh man, I found I wasn't doing anything with that time. I got off work. I said I was supposed to be going to the gym. I sat down on the couch 3 of the 5 days that I looked at it. Okay. You've got to actually make a decision on if that's what you want to do with that time. And you've got to replace that time with what you need to be doing in order to move forward with your goals. Now, that's the real problem, right? That's the real problem. The real problem is that you think you're just busy and at the effect of time. When you hear yourself saying something like, I'm really busy, or that's just the way I am, you're at the effect. You affect your productivity and you're limiting what you're able to do in the world, right? Translation. I never get a break, right? When you say things like that, you're actually thinking that. When you think these things, you're actually at the effect of that, right? And so now you've got to go around and making sure that you're doing things to never give yourself a break, okay? You've got to watch what you're saying. The things that you say out of your mouth is what creating what you think. What you think is eventually what you will start to believe, okay? And so you want to make sure that you're actually honoring the things that you say, okay? So some examples here are, for instance, if your goal is I want to lose weight, okay? Then if you're thinking that you're always busy, then you're never going to lose weight, especially if you got to work out in order to lose weight, because you're going to say you're always busy, right? And so what you're going to do is everything but work out, because you've justified it and told yourself that you're always busy, and that is something that you believe it, right? What you think determines what you do. So if you think that you're always busy, then you're not going to make time for yourself, okay? If your goal is to buy a house and you think that you can't afford it, you're not even going to start saving. All right. That's what you're going to do. You're not going to even start. You're not going to start saving money. You're not going to start getting your credit right. You're not going to start looking for houses. You're not going to start anything about that because you think you can't afford it. You've pretty much failed before you even started. Right? That's the real problem. The real problem is you think something, and so it is. You're creating it. Okay? But the good news here is that your calendar actually stops that cycle as long as you honor it, right? We can put everything in the calendar, but if you don't look at it, it doesn't matter. But when you do and you honor it, it literally ensures that your stuff gets accomplished. And the stuff here is talking about the actions that it actually takes in order to move you forward in your business, in your life, in your relationships, and the things that you feel and deem the most important. And that's what this whole calendaring process is, guys, right? The Sunday Hour One process, all of these processes, it's to make sure you're taking the time to live your life intentionally, right? To plan your time consciously, and most importantly, to follow through on what you say you're going to do. Most of the time in January, we're all excited about the things we're going to do. And then come April, we're disappointed because we realize we didn't follow through on much of anything. Some of us, right? A calendaring process will help you with that. Of course, once again, it doesn't matter what's on a calendar if you don't honor it, but it is a really, really good start. Okay? So you've got to make sure you honor your word to yourself. And if you put things in your calendar, you've got to actually honor it. Okay? So I want to make sure that I give a deep down of some of the things that should be on your calendar. Now, these are just really big buckets, right? And we'll go through some details of the things that are in these big buckets, just to give you some ideas of the types of stuff that you should put on your calendar, okay? Now, I want to stop right there, just in case there are some people that are already thinking, man, this sounds like a lot of structure. Yes, and that's okay. Okay. Whether you're used to structure, whether you hate structure, it doesn't matter. Your job here is to be a CEO and to have a CEO mindset, right? Your job here is to fight the idea that structure is a bad thing. Okay. And so we're not going to try to fight and say, no, 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 structure is good. No, sometimes structure is annoying. Okay. Sometimes you don't want to do it, but it is absolutely the thing that's going to help you to keep moving forward. Okay. All right. So making sure that you honor yourself and your word to yourself is very, very important with this. Okay. I want to make sure that I explain a little bit what Sunday Hour One is. All right. So Sunday Hour One is literally your first few hours on your Sunday when after you have, when it's your time. Okay. And you're literally writing out all of the actions and the things that you want to accomplish during the week. Both your weekly and daily reoccurring things like, sleeping 8 hours, snack, lunch, breakfast, dinner, all that stuff. And even one-time events, or things that you've got to do and stuff like that, right? All of that's in there. Okay. Here are the 3 rules for it. Number one, you've got to turn off your phone. So when you're there on your Sunday and you're on your porch or in your room or in your office or wherever you're at on Sunday, when you're thinking and clearing your mind and thinking about what needs to be done for the week, the first thing you need to do is turn off that phone. And baby, I say just take it out the room, because y'all know how the phones do. They just find a reason to get back in your hand. I don't even know how it does that shit, but it does it. Okay. So the second thing, turn off all your notifications. Just turn all of the stuff off, because it will get in the way. Next thing you know, you can be like, squirrel, squirrel, right? No squirrels. I want you to stay focused on this focus time. If it's an hour block that you're doing your focus time for the week, then turn it off. And then be in a completely quiet space. If you have children, if you have a family, you may be doing this early in the morning on a Sunday. You may be doing it late in the evening. You may maybe doing it in your car in the middle of the day. Doesn't even matter, right? Or using headphones somewhere. It doesn't matter. But the point is, you just want to be distraction free so that you can really, really give yourself a chance to truly think about the things that you've got to do. Okay. All right. So make sure that you do that, because that's going to get you in the space where you're ready. And then what is next is you're creating your lists. Okay. Now I want to make sure I say this. This is not just a to-do list. Okay. There are some things on here that is a to-do type thing, right? But you're also a business owner. You're also a businesswoman. You're also a leader in corporate. You're also someone that, has business to handle in some kind of way. That is outside of just your everyday, how I take care of my family, going to get the laundry or what have you, right? And that's where this is reserved for all of that. Okay. And so your job on Sunday is, the first thing you do is to create a list. Get a paper, a pen, and just create a list. Download everything out of your head that you have to do to get done this week. It's like wringing a towel, get it all out. And then even when you think that you've got it all out, get it out some more, right? And ask yourself, getting it out some more is asking yourself, what else? What else? Make sure you get everything out, right? What errands you've got to do, right? What networking opportunities you need to tap into, what people you need to call, what strategies you need to implement or phone calls you need to make, what do you need to do? What actions you need to take? What end-to-end process do you need to create? What needs to be done? Okay. And so that's it. Number one. Number two is getting everything out of your brain. Number three is just asking, what else? What else? What else? Right? Everything you can think of. Okay. And then number four is just scheduling basic calendar hours for all of those regular occurrences. Okay. And so that would be a cadence or a boulder, whatever you want to call it. It is just where, if it's a weekly cadence, if I get up every morning, or if I go to sleep every evening at 11 p.m. and I wake up at 7, then I can put that in there as a weekly cadence, a daily cadence, right? Because that's generally when I go to sleep. Now, if there's times when that changes, now that is something that is acute. That is something I can go in and change for that one day. But generally speaking, that's my nighttime, right? Those are basic schedule hours. Those are basic calendar hours, regular occurrences, right? Those are regular occurrences that you can put in there and just kind of, put it in for all to create it, okay? And so these are the 4 types of things that will go into your to-do list, all of the things, right? Dinner time, family time, sleep time. Was it date night this week? Do I have to take the kids somewhere? Is it laundry? What do I need to do with my business? Who do I need to talk to? All of these things, okay? I really want you to think of this, wring this towel out really good, guys. Before I go, because I want to make sure I really bring this in here. This family ski trip is what got me here. Family ski trip, family reunion, it doesn't matter. But when I think of that, I think of, I can't just get up and go. I can't just get up and go. I have to plan that. I got to buy clothes ahead of time. I've got to make sure that the dog is bordered. I've got to make sure that we've got, everything ready, clothes packed, bought. I've got, you can't just do that, right? If you're at a family ski trip, you've got to do research for the cabin and activities to do. You had a barbecue, family reunion. You got to figure out the menu for the week, and all of that stuff is beforehand. You're not doing that when you show up, right? It's the same thing here, right? You've got to think ahead of time. Okay, I got to do this thing. What is involved in that in order to get it done? That's the way that you need to think about this, okay? Like a family ski trip and knowing the details of it, or a family reunion and getting the details of it, and not just the action itself on that particular day, okay? Let's break down focus time, okay? So your focus time is a 2-hour block, okay? It's a 2-hour block of no interruptions, no notifications, right? Where you're working to produce a result, a actual result, where you can say, oh man, that's beautiful, I did that, right? It means that there is a beginning and an end to a small mini project that you're doing, okay? It's not work that is your average work. It's not your daily stuff. It's not going to work every day and things like that. It's a 2-hour block of actual time where you're doing deep work. It's not for checking emails or doing those tasks and stuff that's in your to-do list, right? It's not for meeting with people and things like that. It is the time for when you know you're going to accomplish something, right? Say, for instance, you needed to create a script, and or something like that, right? You are actually creating and accomplishing something. That's what focus time is, okay? It is where your most important work is done, okay? It is the time where you need to be focused. And so that means talking about the particular time in the day that you're doing that 2-hour block of time. Now, I recognize that not everyone can do a 2-hour block of time at one time, and that's okay. Do it where you can, but know that that is something that you need to be doing. And so if you're starting out and it is a 2-hour block of time a week, baby, get in where you fit in. But just know that your intention and your goal is to give yourself 2 hours of uninterrupted deep work time and thought per day in your business, in your life, okay? As you move about your life, especially if you are a full-time entrepreneur, okay? All right, so you're gonna use that to actually produce a result, right? That's what's gonna be used in that block of time, all right? All right, so here's some examples, all right, from some action items, okay? So let's just say some action items are, I want to create a QR code. I want to create some IG talk scripts, right? I want to send 10 personal IG invites out. I want to create a quarterly member spotlight, okay? These are 4 actions. These are 4 actions that we've said we wanted to take. And now we're looking at this and saying, okay, if I want to take these 4 actions, then what I'll do is I will, I got 2 hours a day on Monday. So on Monday, I'll take 2 hours and I'll research the best QR times and prices. Codes and prices. On Tuesday's focus times, I'll actually, so first I did the research. Y'all see that first? I didn't just buy it, right? Or create it, did the research, see what I need to do so I might have just spent an hour there, right? And then 3 hours, 3 whole hours on finishing the research on Tuesday, finishing the research and creating the QR code, right? The Wednesday, I may have, spent that whole 2 hours on creating the script. Okay, and then Thursday, you see, so literally you're breaking down exactly what you're going to do. And here's the rules for this: distraction-free environment, right? No phones, no notifications. You're literally strategizing what time of day, right, you're going to do this. So that 2 hours can be broken up, it can be together, but you're actually on that Sunday. Sunday is a good time to strategize. When's a good time based on what's going on in your life, right? That means you've got to have a living document here, guys. You actually are paying attention to what's going on in your life. It may be the case that some of you have nothing going on and this calendar is just wasting your time, but it's not, because it is preparing you for the increase. So please make sure you do it, okay? Now, another rule is making sure that you commit to completing that project within the 2 hours, okay? Whatever that thing is, whatever that action was, okay? Let's talk about sub-blocks of time, okay? With sub-blocks of time, that is the time block inside of your 2 hours time block, okay? Now that's where you need to have copious details. Otherwise, you might get lost in the sauce. You might get overwhelmed that what you're doing during your 2-hour block of time is too much, or you may not know what to do. And so instead of working during that time, you're overwhelmed because you got so many things you can do, and so you don't do nothing, right? And that's where Sunday Hour 1 really comes in handy, because it's designed to allow to help you to think through what's needed this week, right? And then actually lay actions out in order to get it done, okay? And so we have to assign it a time, okay? No worries on it being perfect, but you've got to assign it a time. And you'll get better at that as time goes by. But this is an example of that, okay? We're deep diving into that time block, and we're saying, hey, in this 2-hour time block, what needs to be accomplished? Like I said, Sunday Hour 1's a big help there. How many things can I get done end to end? The answer may be 2, where it's an hour a piece. It may be 3, where you're splitting that 2 hours up by 3 hours. You may be able to get 4 30-minute somethings done end to end. How much time will it take in this block, right? And then that focus time will be used for those action items, okay? And so for the example earlier that I used for the QR code, right, and all of the stuff, the sub blocks in that 2-hour block would look like this. This is the 2-hour block, right? This is the 2-hour block. And now the 2-hour block, instead of it just being 2 hours for personal development or for work, right? It says, oh, in that 2 hours, I'm going to use 15 minutes to create that QR code. I'm going to use a whole hour to create those talk scripts. I'm going to use 20 minutes to send out those invites. And I'm going to use another 25 minutes to create those quarterly spotlight memberships. You got that? Now we have broken down exactly what we're going to be doing in our block of time. Okay? So we're no longer going to be worried, or not so, I won't say worried, because we don't get worried. We just find something else to do, like popcorn, Netflix, squirrel. We get real squirrely when we sit there, we're like, oh man, all right, sitting here, I got my 2-hour block, I'm ready to go. I'm about to put some dedication and some work, hard work, dedication into my craft. Yeah. Then you sit there and you're looking around and you like, oh snap, I've got so much stuff to do. I'm looking at my list. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got 2 hours. What am I going to do? And you know what you're going to do? Psh, Netflix. I'm going to pop this popcorn. Check this out tomorrow. Man, tomorrow's going to be a better way. It's going to be a better way and a better day. And no, it's not. It's going to be the same stuff. And so that's when it builds to procrastination. Next thing you know, you're never getting your shit done. And then you're calling me saying, Coach T, help me to get unstuck. And listen, I'm going to help you to get unstuck. But this is exactly what we're going to do to help you to get unstuck. Okay? We're just going to bring you back to the basics. All right? So sub-blocks are very important. It's what helps you to ground and anchor into exactly what you're supposed to be doing with your time. It is also something that allows you to know exactly what you're doing with your time. It is a snapshot in time, and it is a long time, because a year is a long time to be able to look at any week and see exactly what it is that you were doing. Okay? All right. Okay, guys. So at this point, I want to make sure that we actually work on calendaring together. I don't want to leave you hanging to just kind of guess it. And so give me a minute. And what I want to do is show you this, because this is exactly what it could look like. You could have all of these color-coded Skittles, just like this one, if you want it, right? And so I want to make sure that we at least show you exactly what that would look like. So give me a second to stop my screen share and go get it. So 1 second. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to reshare, and we're going to really just get into it, guys. We're going to get into actually creating a calendar right now. So give me a second. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get at it. Okay, sorry about that. All right. All right. Can y'all see my screen? Okay. Yes. All right, great. Thank you. Okay. So this, as you see, is just a blank canvas, right? Just a blank canvas. And as it looks like a blank canvas, we're going to go ahead and throw some color on it. What the intention is to make this really, really easy for you to do this yourself in your own spaces so that you can actually benefit from being more productive in the things that you do and having a way to ground yourself to that productivity. So that's the intent here, okay? So I want to make sure that you guys are seeing the right screen. Hold on a second. I'm gonna do it again. Hold on, y'all. All right. Let's talk to. All right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So the screen here is a blank canvas, like I said, and we're about to fill it. So the first thing we're gonna do is do the part that's the easiest, okay? The easiest to me is sleep. It's the first thing that, fills up the beginning wee hours of the morning. So I like to start with that one. So what I would do, and as think about it, as we just kind of, thought about the things in the to-do list that would actually go with this, right? Then you actually have the space and the opportunity to I'm sorry, guys, I drew a blank. When you're actually doing this, you have that space and the opportunity to track everything over months, over years, right? You can track by color codes, you can track how many times you had a meeting, you had coaching meetings, right? With specific types of clients based on a particular type of color code. How many hours of sleep you've gotten, right? For those of my sisters that still in corporate, you can use this calendar snatch to actually color code and show yourself what types of meetings you've had throughout the years at your job, right? What types of contributions you've made, and color coding, showing things. And so there's so many things that color coding can do that I wanted to make sure that we just broke it down here in that way. So the first thing I'm going to do is start with sleep, guys. So I'm going to just say you're sleeping from 11 to 7. Now, for a lot of us, that's late, but I'm going to put that thing in there. And so we're going to put sleep. All right. And I'm going to go to more options here because I want it to be from 11 to 7. We'll say 11 to 6. That's probably more realistic, right? Okay. And we're going to put it to repeat. We're going to put it to repeat every single day of the week, right? Every single day of the week. So we're going to customize it. And why every single day of the week? Well, not every single day, but at least the Monday through Friday, because this is for, during your work week or what have you, right? I'm hoping that even our entrepreneurs are taking some time off during the weekend. That's the assumption made here, okay? Okay, so we're gonna do this for a repeat. So on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, actually, Sunday does need to be going because it goes from Monday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday repeats Friday, and probably not Saturday, right? And so, excuse me. And so your sleep, it repeats all of these days. We never end it, and we're done there. And then we're gonna color code it, right? We got to give it some color. And so we're gonna do that bad boy, get some green. And just take all of that out there and just put sleep. And that's it, right? It may just look really, really simple. But now we've got it for every day of the week. We put that thing in there. And so now we got sleep from 11 to 6. Okay. So now we got sleep, and that's the first color code. And now think about it, right? So once again, this is based on your actual life. Now, if you need to up-level your life and some things that you are doing, like with your habits and behaviors, are not aligned with the woman you're looking to become, then get a coach, get a mentor, and get some help with that, right? But this is based on the assumption that the actions that you're putting in your calendar are aligned with the woman that you're looking to become and the goals that you have, okay? All right, cool. So let's just say morning routine, right? So in my morning routine, let's just say I woke up I woke up at 6, and so no, let me go before morning routine, hygiene. So from 6 to 6:30, let's just say, we're gonna say hygiene, routine. Okay, now your hygiene and routine could be all the stuff that you do. Now, for me, I am also gonna go in here like y'all see me doing, and I'm gonna put some details in there, right? Because I actually want to know. I want to see and know exactly what it is. I don't want to even have to think about anything. So I'm gonna put them in there one time. I'm gonna repeat that bad boy, and now it's gonna stay in there. So my details in here are gonna be, it's not gonna be stuff like brush your teeth. I know to brush my teeth, right? But I do like to do stuff called habit stacking. Now, habit stacking is when you actually take a habit that you already do, like brushing your teeth, and you pair it with a habit that you're trying to get used to doing, like morning affirmations, right? Or yeah, something like that, right? And so for me, this is actually something that I do. I habit stack in the mornings when I'm brushing my teeth. I have a script that I read to myself. You know, I don't know if it's morning affirmations, but it definitely gets me going. And you know, where I'm speaking to myself, you know, a few years in the future about some things that I hadn't even handled yet. But we definitely future forward facing and talking and having a conversation. And I'm letting me know who I am in that, right? And so that's one of the things that's in my morning routine. So is, you know, maybe stretch, right? Prayer, right? You know, stuff like that, right? Okay, so and that's just from 6 to 6:30. Once again, it's real quick. You know, another good thing to have on here, I like to drink a bottle of water when I wake up, right? It's a really, really good idea to habit stack, to put that bottle of water right next to your daggone toothpaste, right? When you're waking up in the morning, as soon as you wake up, you down that water, brush your teeth, right? Or afterwards, however you want to pair yours, and keep it moving, right? That could be the very first 8 ounces of water that you've consumed, right? And that could be a very good thing, especially for somebody like me that has been forgetting to drink water. And I love water, but I don't know why. I just, listen, I get into it, y'all. I really get busy and I get, you know, I forget. And so these little things help, right? Now here, if you got to Google, guys, then please take note of this. If you don't go in and put does not repeat, then these little things will, not this one, I'm sorry. Yeah, it will repeat all the time. So make sure that when you're putting it in here, you actually do want it to repeat, and you want it to repeat weekly in this case, okay? So make sure that you're tapping it every single time to customize it to what you need it to be, all right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all right? And so, and then that's that. You're gonna put that in there, and we're gonna, you know, we're gonna wake up so the sun is shining. I like yellow for the sun is shining. Anything more yellow? Nope. Sun is shining. We're waking up, saying our prayers, a little stretch, brushing our teeth. I like it. Boom. Okay. All right. So you guys are kind of seeing how this goes. And so, all right. So now it is 6:30, right? It is 6:30, and I want to do my breakfast, my morning routine, like work as far as workout and stuff like that. But you know what? I can kind of add it to my hygiene time, right? It can be, I can add all of that to it. All right, so you know, let's go in there and add from 6 to 6, you know, instead of 6 to 6:30, let's just add 6 to 7, right? That'll give us a chance to maybe do our morning workout. For somebody like me, it's not gonna be enough time for my workout. So maybe, you know, for me, my clock would probably look like this. It would say something like this. And instead of hygiene, routine, all that, it'll say Tisha time. And then all of the stuff that's in Tisha time would be listed inside of my notes, right? And I would know exactly what Tisha time is. And from 6 to 8, I can get it in, whether I want to go to the gym, hurry up, brush my teeth, stretch and pray. and, hit the gym or go do something else. It's all my time, right? A lot of the things that I put in there for me, I like my 10 pages a day. So I always have a good book. I definitely do at least 30 minutes of a workout, but it's usually more because, that's kind of my thing and I get into it and I lose track of time. And so that's in there. And so whatever your thing is, whatever it is, right, you're putting it in there, okay? You're saving it, you're putting it in there for all of the events, and you're keeping it moving. All right, well, listen, now it's 8 o'clock. You got to get ready to get out of here soon. You're working 9 to 5, whether you're traveling or not, right? And now remember, breakfast and all of that was in your 6 to 8. So at this point, it's commute time or it's get ready time if you're working from home, right? And so what I like to do when it comes to whatever work you're doing, whether you're an entrepreneur or whether you're a corporate or what have you, is I like to put the whole entire block of time and I like to block it out, right? Because all that nickel and diamond, it doesn't make sense. If that is a block of time that is reserved for work, whether it is your entrepreneurial work or any other work, and whatever that time is, if it's not 9 to 5, that's fine. Do it for your time. You need to reserve that time just like you would if you were salary going to someone's job and you saying, okay, I got to be there every day from 9 to 5. You need to reserve that time on your calendar, okay? And so your calendar needs to show that. And so this should say, work, right? For me on my calendar, it just says work, and that's my work, like fit to live work, the stuff that I've got to do. Now, what goes into those blocks throughout the day, that's something different, but I know that the whole entire block is work, right? I go to more options. I repeat that thing. Not every Monday. Customize. Yep, that's it. Repeat that thing. And we've got work, right? We're going to change the color. Baby, we making some greenbacks. So that means we're going to change this color then because we're going to do that basil. We're going to do basil for that one. Okay. So 9 to 5, we're in here, right? But we know that 9 to 5, there's some other things going on, right? We got, probably from 10 to 11, we got our break here, right? Now, a lot of us don't take breaks. We don't, we just give that time right back to the job for no reason because, lawfully we're supposed to get up and do that little 15, right? I suggest you do, whether you stand up, stretch, whether you go pee, whether you drink some water, eat an apple, whether you stand up in place, bounce around and have a little moment, in your chair. I do suggest that you use that time because it is your time. It's not time that you get back ever, not just at this job, but ever. Once it's gone, right? And it was your time. You just gave it to them for free, and now none of y'all were able to use it, right? Well, they used it because they got you probably faking like you were working because you wanted to go stretch anyway, right? Use the time. That's the point. Y'all know I get on my little soapbox. So excuse me about the soapbox, but use the time. And then I would put something in there like water, stretch, right? Apple, right? I'll put things in there that will remind me of exactly what I need to be doing. And we're only talking about 15 minutes, guys. So, and we're repeating it every day. We're repeating it every week, customize, we're repeating it. We're repeating it. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Something really good and bright and loud, right? And you got it all right there. You could very well just put it in description as well. Doesn't really matter, but the point is that you're doing this. And so because we know we're going to get 2 breaks a day, and I'm going to save that. You see how break number 1 went up there? All right, so break number 2 is lunch. I'm going to go and put lunch, right? So these little subtle reminders of H2O, it's kind of how I talk to myself because I'm reminding myself, but it's also a good reminder for you too, right? You should be drinking at least half your body weight in water at minimum, right? So however much you weigh, take half of that, and that's how many ounces of water you should be drinking. Don't think you're just going to ease up on that and by the end of the day you're going to have it, right? If you're not conscious, you're not intentional about it, it's not going to happen, right? And so what you want to be doing is at least half your body to your whole body weight in water per ounces of water per day, right? Not your whole body weight, up to a gallon. That's 128 ounces. If you're not 204, whatever the double of that, you're not going to get to that, right? But the point is, just stop there. Okay, so lunch is there, we do more options, we put it for the repeat throughout the week, right? And and we're happy. We're eating lunch. Everybody's happy. Boom. Same thing for break. Right. And I think I copied that. Yep, I did. Right. So a little quickie. We ain't doing too much over here. That same little bright, little weird color. And we're stretching it, right? We're stretching it. Save. Listen, y'all, the Skittles is happening. Can y'all see it happening? It's happening, right? Now look, all of this, now once again, work is still happening. These are simply things that has to happen. That's your repetitive things. These are the things that when you go in and say, oh, okay, on Sunday, I know that these things are already there. As you see, I put it on repeat. So it's on repeat throughout the ether until I change it, because it's stuff that happens every single week. Now, sometimes you're going to have vacation, right? You can go in there and delete that for that day, that one entry, that 2 weeks, that 1 week, right? But at least it's there overall. So that's what your general stuff is. All of the stuff that you can do that with, right? And go in there and take those alerts out, because those alerts will drive you nuts. Those little 15-minute alerts before it, hold on, where is it? I don't see it. All right, I don't see it, but wherever that is, where those little 15-minute alerts before, make sure you take that out, because if not, like, it's gonna drive you crazy. You're gonna become desensitized to the chime of what you're supposed to be doing, and you won't do it. And so don't let all of the chime stay in there. If it's something very, very important, leave the 15-minute, 20, 30-minute alarm alert on there. But if it's not, and it's something like, break, that break is coming up, don't put 15 minutes before the break and then the alert of the break, because by that time you desensitize yourself. You're like so annoyed that you're getting chimed so much that you're ignoring the actual break time because you're annoyed. Okay. So that's my suggestion on you, for you on that, right? So look, that is your whole workday. This could very well right here from 8 to 9 be a commute time for those. So this is what I'd say on this: commute/prep, right? Because a lot of us do not commute, but we do use that morning time to prep our day. Now, this is another really, really good time to take the time to deep dive into your calendar for the day. Now, mind you, on Sunday, you've already did it for the week, but every single day, shit happens, stuff hits the fan, right? You all of a sudden you got to take care. You got to run the kids to the store. You got jury duty, you got baby duty, stuff like that. That's when the calendar changes, right? You want to make sure that, you do that. You put the stuff in there, right? So, commuting or preparing for your day if you're virtual, right? Either way, that is preparing and putting all of those things in there that wasn't going to be in there because I didn't know it, right? It just happened yesterday. I couldn't even plan it on my show, my Sunday Hour 1, because I hadn't even had it then, right? And there's always going to be acute things that happen, right? And sometimes we go crazy thinking like, oh my gosh, like, this has really derailed my time. But it's like, no, when you actually have time on a calendar, when you have your time scheduled, then you know exactly how much time and what exactly it took out, and you can plug and play that everywhere, right? You can say, oh, snap, that 4 hours, I was supposed to be doing this, this, and this, and this. Where can I put these blocks in the future so that I can still get it done, even if I got to slither it up into 4 1-hour blocks, right? It just makes it easier. But, a lot of us are still fussing about the structure that happens when you do something like this instead of the benefits that come from it. Okay. So, I didn't repeat that. So let me go in and repeat it. All right. And so, and then another thing that I like to do in this one, guys, is if I'm commuting, then you better believe I'm being intentional on what I'm watching, what I'm listening to, sorry, not watching, what I'm listening to, right? And so down here, I'm sitting here and I'm naming the podcast for my commute on Monday. I'm naming the audiobook for my commute on Tuesday. I am naming the phone calls that I need to make or the people that I need to tap into for my commute on Wednesday, right? I'm being very intentional with my time on my commute. I'm not just sitting there listening to music. There's nothing wrong with music, especially if you got to let that get you in the spirit. to get to that job, whether it's a good thing or not, right? Energy is energy. I love my music. And so that's not the point here. But making sure that you're being very intentional on even your commute time, man. It is all time you cannot get back. I'm just going to keep saying that for people in the back. All right. Okay, guys. So I'm going to keep on going. All right. Save that. Boom. All right. So now we got commute prep. All right. So let's get to the evening. Let's get to the evening. We did this, right? Let's just say, you know, we got kids, you know, we people's mamas. It take us a little time to get, you know, get settled in. All of this time right here, all of that time, Tish, that's family. Girl, I'm doing so much stuff. I'm going crack, girl. Well, just block it off, family, and just, you know, do it. We all have our, you know, we all have it. We all have it. Just block it off as family and get it done. And so now you got family time. We're repeating that thing. That's your cooking. That's your dinner time. It's washing dishes, helping with homework. It may be longer than that. You may have to rotate and talk to the family and say, hey, listen, on Wednesdays, I can't help with homework, but it's going to have to be during X time, right? You might have to schedule them things in there too, because it's a whole family event, right? It's not just your job to do it. It's everybody's job to pitch in, okay? So, all right. And then let's just say your deep work time, because as you see, your focus time is not on here. Let's just say say for instance, you work a 9 to 5, you're in corporate, and you had to work for them during the day, right? You were not able to put your 2 hours of deep work time on your calendar or during the work time of 9 to 5 because you worked for someone else, right? Then, okay, no problem. You still owe you, right? And so, oh man, look at there. I just found some time. I just found some time, right? I just found some time. We're going to open this thing up and we're going to talk about the details of our focus time. Now, we broke it down about what it could look like, right? But we want to make sure that you understand that these are end-to-end processes, right? And so this may look like something like create social media copy for 1 week, right? And if it says something like that, right? If this 2 hours, boom, boom. If it said something like that, then what you would be doing is in this 7 to 9 hour block, you would be knocking out all of the details of exactly what you would be doing, right? You got 2 hours, so, you know, you got 4 30-minute sections. The first one, you may say, I want to, you know, the first one is going to be talking about copy for week 1, right? Right? And then week 2, right? And so you get the point, right? And so you're breaking down because remember, you've got those subsections now. And so we're not just saying, hey, I've got a block for my business development after them kids go to sleep or after I've told them that this is mommy's time. I'm feeling so good. I'm going to go to my little home office and I am going to be ready to work. And then soon you get in there, you're like, oh shit, there is so much to do. You know what? I'm gonna go play with my little girl. Every mother wants to go play with their little girl, and then you just, you know, justify it. Now all of a sudden you like making yourself feeling guilty if you didn't play with your little girl in the first place. And you know damn well one time to play with baby girl, you know damn well it was time to go do this stuff, but you got overwhelmed, right? This is what stops that. Okay. So be very, very intentional on that. Okay. All right, guys. And so I did not spread it. We got to spread it because that is what we're doing all week, right? Now, listen, it's not, so the spread here, that part was just for Monday, right? That part was just for Monday, but the rest of these, that's going to be something else, right? That would be something else right there, right? And then it would be something else for this one and something else for this one and something else for this one, right? And you're breaking that down, okay? Because it is your focus time. This is your time that you're putting all your best into your business, right? There's going to be sometimes that's going to be admin stuff and you got to call people back. You got to create emails. You got to create email series. You got to see how to learn how to automate systems. You know, it's going to be sometimes that you got to actually learn a process so that you can go and teach it, right? There's going to be plenty of things to do in there, but that is when it's done. You have to continue to create the space to be this great individual that you are, right? Okay, so listen, guys, remember the times here doesn't matter. What matters is you know, me just teaching you the actions and how to do this. So if this time doesn't work for you for dinner, for the family time and all of that, or if you don't have a family and it's just you, do you, boo-boo, right? I'm just saying these are blocks, and these blocks, you do what you need to do for you, okay? And then listen, you got to make sure you got your personal time in there, right? And so that matters too. Personal time, you know, boo time, if you got a partner and stuff like that, family time, if that's just with the kids, you got to put the times in there that's relevant to you. No one can create this schedule but you. There are things that need to be in there, but there are also things that need to be in there because they're important to you. And that is just as important. Okay. And so you've got to make sure that you're making this relevant to how you're going to actually use it, right? I don't want it to just be big old blocks. It needs to be stuff that you say, oh, you know what? It's not. So this is what I'm going to do with this. From 7 to 9. All right. I think I am going to, from 7 to 7:30, I am going to do week 1. And I'm going to change that to a different color. Right. And so, you know, from 7:30 to 8, 7:30 to 8, I'm going to do week 2. Right? Nope. Yep. From 8 to 8:30, I'm going to do week 3. Subtasks, guys, right? Gold right here. Make sure you're doing this. This is how you don't get lost in the sauce. All right? I'm going to do week 3. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. And then during this time, I'm going to do week 4. Now, it may not always look this pretty, right? Meaning that it may not be a perfect 30 minutes for 4 sections, right? Sometimes it could be a whole 2 hours you're working on something. Sometimes it could be 2 sections of 1 hour you're working on something. But the point is, you got color-coded sections inside of your block that says focus time. And you know exactly what you're doing from 8:30 to 9. You know exactly what you're doing from 8 to 8:30. Do not play with me. You know what you're doing. So in the event that you messed it up, in the event that, you know, the kids got you and they got you on that guilt trip, and next thing you know, you're over there playing with Barbie dolls, and now you got to wait until they go to sleep. You know exactly where to pick up at, right? You know exactly where to pick up at, okay? All right, so we're actually about to end this thing up, guys, but I want to make sure that I finish strong, okay? So listen, the way that you feel the rest of it, because you don't have to feel under any obligation to feel all of this. If you have open time in your schedule, great. But my suggestion to you is to determine what you're doing with that open time. And if it's something that you approve, just like with that time check we did, actually put it in the calendar. It is my preference for you to not have open spaces in your calendar, because you're going to find shit to fill it. And we don't need to do that, especially if we're a woman of purpose and we're driven and we know exactly what we're supposed to be doing, right? And if we want to do that, if that's the level that you're at, then we want this calendar to be full. And we want to check in with it. And we want to rely to be able to say, you know what, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. Oh, wait a minute, I didn't confirm that with you. We must have just didn't have it on my calendar. You want to be able to trust yourself like that, right? You want to be able to know that when you look at your calendar for 6 months ago, you can look at your accomplishments because you had it all in there, right? You can color code conversations with certain people about certain accounts or certain clients and things like that. Next thing you know, you look at a year of color coding in red and you see how many conversations, how many people you brought value to, right? And so there's so many ways to use this. But here's the biggest part to this, guys. The absolute biggest part, and I'm gonna come off of screen share because I want to make sure that, you know, you see, this is how you finish this. The sub blocks of your focus time of any time that you put, right? Because break is a sub block of work. right? Lunch is a sub block of work, right? Say, for instance, you had a meeting with a partner, you put it right here, meeting, right? And that's a sub block. That is a sub block of work. That's what you're doing when you're at work, okay? And so that's what that should look like. The work should be still singing in the background. It should still be back there. And if all kinds of things is on top of it, great. Same thing with your focus time. These are subsections. And the better you get at making sure they are actionable action items that can be put into your calendar just like this, the more shit you get done. Okay? The more shit you get done. Okay, here's the last part about this. Once again, I'm going to come off the screen as soon as I find, because, you know, I always got 13,000 of these things. So give me a moment, y'all. Okay. Okay. The last thing with this is you've got to make sure that you're minding your mind. Mindset management is the most important part with this, right? And the reason is simple, and I know you understand it. It's because it doesn't matter how good, how cute, how pretty this calendar is with all of these colors. Oh my gosh, I understand it. Oh man, it made so much sense. Oh my gosh, girl, the sub blocks that help me. Man, now I can know what I'm doing at Tuesday at 5 anytime. Yes, yes, all of that. You won't use it. You won't use it if you don't get that mindset together, right? If you don't stop telling yourself that there's not enough time in a day, because that's a lie. We just proved it, right? We just proved that, hey, listen, we all get the same amount of time. At some point, there was a space that you weren't doing the things with your time that you could have been doing. You were doing other things. And you've got to make some effective and some really big girl choices and decisions on how you want to roll with that. If you want to continue to say it's not enough time in a day, or you want to start to actually use your time in a way that you should so that you can get shit done. That part's on you. That is mindset management. And that's a continued effort of challenging yourself and challenging the ways that you've always done things versus how you want to do things now. How you being defined as the woman that you're looking to become, right? And so I don't know if y'all saw my post, but I love making, I love video games. Well, I don't love video games. I love Mario Brothers. And I made a post about on my Instagram about Mario Brothers. And even here, it's the same thing, right? I just want to make sure I say that, like, the experiences that we have in life, we're going to have so many ups and downs. We're going to have so many things that gets us off, you know, that got us going fast, it's got us going slow, that's got us with that fire, all of the stuff, right? But, and there's going to be plenty of worlds and times that we get knocked off of our rockers, and we are now, we're our head is spinning, we're on the ground, and we're like, damn, like, I don't even know how to get back on track. But you do. You do if you've got this calendar. You do if you mind your calendar. You do if you respect your time, right? You do if you get past the mindset good that you got to do in order to create something like this so that it can forever give you benefits. You do. And you have something that is more powerful than you will ever know if you don't use it, right? And so, you know, with any experience you have in your life, you're gonna get knocked down. And sometimes we're gonna be seeing stars for days, right? Man, listen, I definitely have mine. And I'm so grateful that I plan things the way that I do, because it doesn't matter if I take 6 days away. You know what I can do, y'all? I can go and look at the tasks that I was supposed to do for those 6 days, make sure it gets done. Right? Now, I'm not saying that you got to be like me, but I am saying that it is something that can help you for sure to be more productive in anything that you do. And that's what we're about here. We're about that action, right? We're leaving 2023 in the past. Anything that you did or did not do in the past does not matter then, right? But what matters as we move forward is what ways are we going to do, incorporate, how are we going to incorporate things, actions, activities, executionable items, and actions that allow us to move forward into the people that we're supposed to be. All right, ladies. So that is it. I hope that y'all got something from this. As you know, this thing is recorded. It's why we do this, so that you can always have access to these amazing videos as you continue to move forward and grow. If you have any questions about Calendar Snatch 2.0, how it can help you be more productive or anything like that, please holler at your girl. Otherwise, y'all have an amazing evening, and I will talk to y'all next time. All right, peace.